From this height, Oliver's Castle, one of the most often debated observations, was made early one morning in 1996. A young man who had spent the night here and had brought a video camera with him was woken during early dawn by a humming sound.
Here I'm standing at Oliver's Castle at precisely the same spot as John Whaley was standing in August 1996, when he supposedly, for the first time in history, managed to film the creation of a crop circle.
That the crop circle was not here on the previous day but had appeared on the following morning was a fact. That John Whaley was here at dawn could be confirmed by a military patrol that happened to be jogging by at the time. John went to the local pub later that same day and showed his film to the people there. Even so, many believe that he had managed to manipulate the film with computer animation in the meantime, something that computer animation experts doubt. To overlay a perfect animation over a handheld, unstable film would need several days of work using the computer equipment of that time. Even today, the film is still a great mystery, and John has gone underground due to the intense interest that his film created.
You're about to hear the hypnosis tapes of Barry and Barney Hill. Barry and Barney were married. They were an interracial couple in 1961. They were very prominent in their community. They were leaders, they were loving, and they were awesome people. Although in 1961, as they drove back from their honeymoon, this would be a day that they would never forget.
Betty called my attention to an object or a star that she had been watching.
This star seemed to be getting larger and brighter.
As the star began to grow and get brighter, they noticed it was moving towards them. It was at this point that their curiosity just completely took over and they pulled over. They had a pair of binoculars, so they used those to get a closer look.
And surprisingly, this, what I thought was a satellite, began coming in my direction at a very rapid rate of speed. This caused me to become quite alarmed, and I told my wife, well, apparently it is not a satellite, and they obviously are looking at us, and I felt uncomfortable to see this come in our direction. So I returned to the car, drove down the highway.
At this point, they are in full panic. They can sense that this object is aware of them. As they are driving, Betty looks out the window and she notices that it is following them. It was rising and falling over the tree lines and zigzagging over the road. This went on for 30 minutes as their panic began to grow and grow. Barry's logical mind assumed,
After this military pilot, they could obviously see, I thought they were playing a game with us out there.
the way that this object moved was so fast and bizarre. It completely dumbfounded the couple. The UFO stops in front of their car and they step out. Next thing they know, they are driving home. There's a huge gap of time that is missing, and we can understand the story with their hypnosis session. So I'm giving you a warning right now. I've compiled the clips, and now we are going to know the full story. I will also provide some picture evidence.
There's a man, the captain, what is he? Just keep looking and stay there, and just keep looking, Oh, I gotta pull these binoculars away from my eyes.
Did you hear him tell you this?
Oh no, he didn't say it.
You felt he said it.
I know.
You know he
Just there, just stay there, he's saying to me.
Right.
I'll dig in my head, just
All
don't
right.
pull the binoculars away. God, give me strength. Pull them down. Run! Pull these binoculars down and run. God, if there's a God, give me strength. I gotta get away. Oh, baby.
creature was staring at Barney and speaking to him telepathically. He would say just how terrified he was of looking in those eyes. He would repeatedly say that it is inside his mind. From there, Barney and Betty were escorted inside of the craft, and it was here where the beings performed experiments.
I don't want to be operated on. And I was lying on my stomach. Did not dare open my eyes. I thought, are they putting a cup around my private parts?
Now, I've just been playing hypnosis clips from Barney, but I want you to hear this one from Barry. Warning, because this one is quite disturbing.
There's a whole cluster of needles. The needle has a wire on my back. The examiner has a long needle. It's bigger than any needle I've ever seen. He just wants to put it in my navel. It's just a simple test. I don't know it will hurt. Don't do it. Don't do anything for me. Put to my navel. I'm crying and I tell him it's hurting. Take it out. And then the leader, his hand, runs his hand in front of my eyes. And he says, I'll be alright. And all the pain goes away.
This is Barry's real dress, the one she got abducted in. She has the tears that she recounted in her hypnosis, and she also had an unknown liquid on the dress where she said that the needle was inserted. Not only that, but they discovered their car had these strange circles all over it. Now, there are pictures of this, but they have been completely wiped off the internet. Whenever the UFO shut their car down, they had recalled that the car was vibrating and resonating like a tuning fork. And we assume that this is when those circles formed on the back of the car. These hypnosis tapes bring a tear to your eye. It is difficult to listen to the trauma that they experienced. Of course, the couple were heavily interrogated and deeply ridiculed by the community. At first, this would be kept private, but eventually everything became public and it became world news. We can be thankful that it did so we can know their story, because otherwise this would have been pushed under the rug. This incident left both Barry and Barney with severe PTSD, because, I mean, it's basically just being kidnapped. I mean, they were completely powerless. And there is much more to this story, but I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to cut it off here.
This is why you should be careful when buying antique dolls. User Zombie660 recorded a horrifying video while she was playing a cup game with her family. What she saw that night was so unsettling that it left her worried for her safety and looking for answers. In the video, everything begins fairly normal until something behind her smiles for the camera. What looks like a small doll seemingly pops up for the camera, as if it's sitting upright on its own. She explains that as soon as she noticed the doll watching her in the video, she immediately locked it away. He visited his son, even in the afterlife. A mother who recently lost her husband was with her son at home one day when she noticed her baby began to recognize someone standing by his bedside.
Who is it? Who is it?
As she asks him, who is he looking at? He points at a picture of his father.
Who's that? Who's up there? Who is it? Who is it? Who? Who is it?
The mother believes this is the spirit of her husband looking over his son from the other side.
No one has ever solved this mystery to this day. In 1947, an American ship picked up a distress signal from an unidentified vessel. The first transmission was all officers, including the captain, are dead. The next transmission was the whole crew is dead, and the last one was I die. After that, it went silent. So the Americans trace the signal, and it's a ship that is drifting off in the middle of the Indian Ocean. They assemble a rescue team and go to board the ship. Once on board, they find that every single crew member has died in the exact same position. They have a look of terror on their face, and they all have their arms up as if they're trying to shield themselves from something. Not only that, but all bodies on the ship were decomposing at an extremely rapid rate. And although it was around 100 degrees outside, the ship was 40 degrees. The Americans decide the best thing to do is just tow the ship in for evidence. After they tied the line, smoke started to billow from inside of the vessel. The Americans all ran and jumped overboard. And then the ghost ship exploded so powerfully that it sent it flying into the air. And as soon as it hit the water, it sank, erasing all of the evidence.
And then he said that his back was burning, and as a joke I was like, oh, imagine if you had scratch marks. And then he had them, and in the video you obviously can see there was no one near him. No one was near him. I just walked up to him. You could feel the scratch marks, like they were hard scratch marks.
I was walking back out of the room, another 3 appeared.
Yeah.
Now Elsa further adds that the house was built in the 1800s, and the key to this room had mysteriously appeared out of nowhere. It was lying about in one of the rooms, as though someone or something had placed it there for somebody to find. Curiosity got the best of them, and so they decided to try this key on the door that's been locked for years. It's unknown how Elsa's friend got those scratch marks, but if there's one thing that most viewers agree on, it's that this room should be locked up forever, as something about it just doesn't seem right. As always, let me know your thoughts on this one.
And they take a bath here, and they like Justin Bieber, and he uses a bath as a swimming pool. However, my daughters have been telling me that he moves by himself. They've told me this enough times that I'm gonna do an experiment and see if this is true. Last night my daughter was taking a bath in here, she was waiting to take a bath. I was filling up bath with water, and she started screaming, saying Justin Bieber was moving. So I'm going to do an experiment, recreate the event, placing Justin Bieber. As you can see, he's a normal Justin Bieber. There's nothing funny, there's no attachments, there's nothing. There's nothing hidden in the bathtub. Normal bathtub, actually needs to be cleaned a little bit. Bathroom, normal bathroom, nothing funky going on here. What I'm going to do is put Justin Bieber down. My daughter's getting ready for the bath, they're using the toilet or whatever. Put Justin Bieber down where he likes to.
Turn the water, get your bath ready. Just like last night.
I'm going to put the camera down. and try to get Justin Bieber in focus. Can't see him there. Put this camera here. Oops. Let's see if we get any weird Justin Bieber possession activity. I'm gonna leave the room, close the door. Never happened maybe with seeing presents, so we shall see and put the breath whether my daughter's spelling me or not. Alright, I'll close the door and leave it a couple minutes to film, see if Justin Bieber moves.